Hey guys, welcome back. This is Bo. So I wanted to kind of talk about the pre-release I just got back from. I played 2 events this weekend, and it was pretty dope. I pulled 3 Planeswalkers. One was a foil Chandra, one was a Nisa, and another was an Ileana. Sold all 3 of them back to the shop and made about $83. Well, actually, plus I've sold 1 days unused or something like that, a blue card. It's one of these that basically you shuffle everything back and start from scratch. Anyway, I didn't like it, didn't need it. I play red anyway, and I don't play Planeswalkers. I like playing Jank. So I gave them all back to the shop, and I got $84 in credit, which is almost a box. And so I covered the cost of the event by 2, which was nice because I only paid like 40 something for the event. And then I made an extra 40 bucks on top. So hard to argue with that part. Anyway, this is about the deck that I used Saturday night, or this is today, for my last pre-release. I got another Chandra box. Obviously, the Chandra box comes with stuff like, like a throwdown dice. Had a whole bunch of stuff in it. Anyway, so it's red. It should be red. You should think I would have made a red deck. Well, unfortunately, all the red that I chose was like bad. I couldn't use any of it. Like, there was no synergy, but I had a lot of black and a lot of white. So I went ahead and made a black-white deck. So my lands of choice, I did 8 plains, 7 swamps, and I got 1 pain land as my rare. So let me see if maybe I can start doing the weird manual focus thingy. Where are you, manual focus thingy? There you are, manual focus thingy. There, hold on. That is the zoom. That is the focus. So that's the pain land I got. It was very useful because it's black and white, which is super useful. So anyway, my lands, I decided to do a little bit, try to mix it, plus this pain land was really useful. But I never used it once. That's the thing. It's like the weird part about it is it's like, yeah, it's a nice pain land, except for I never used it. So it's not much of a pain land. So let's go in for all the creatures. I decided to use, let's just go through here, because it'll be easier this way. One of these, because I wanted it for the sacrifice to be able to block a character. It came in really, really useful. I was playing against the green-red deck. This guy drops out a 6 with 6 renowned, swinging in for 12. I tap this for 1 round. Basically, you pay 1, sack it, and makes it so he can't attack. Then this guy was huge. This guy's a boss. I mean, obviously, you would not want to run this on some other decks, but Jesus Christ, for a draft or limited, it was pretty crazy. This, you pay 3, and you can tap any creature you want right before combat. So this one saved my ass a bunch. For the record, I did go 2-2, so not too bad. So I got a pack. Anyway, this one, boss card for limited, because it's only 1 plains and you get a 0/4. This one was great. Basically gives you like about 3 or 4 turns to do something, and it was really useful. I pulled this almost every time in a starting hand. So I had a plains in this, and it gave me a lot of time. These shamans were really good because what it makes the other person do is if it dies, you have to discard a card. So you put it out there because they know, like, as you get later in the game, right, turn 5, 6, 7, they have fewer and fewer cards, and they're like the really good ones. They don't want to lose. So you throw this guy out, and you're like, okay, yeah, go for it, swing. I'll let this one die, and then you'll discard that card in your hand. So a lot of people wouldn't swing. It really was very useful. Obviously, flying is super big. This is a great one for that. This flyer, if you have enchantments out, gets +1/+1 for 3. The flying is critical. This thing was saving my butt all over the place. This guy, too. Anytime I was playing a non-green person who didn't have elves, this thing swings for 2 for only 1 cost. I mean, this thing was a no-brainer to throw in there. We start getting into these guys. I got 2 of these. These are flying, and the nice part is because they're 1/3, they don't seem like they're really big, but most people are throwing out for 2 or 3 mana are throwing out 2/2s. So these block them all day long, and if they don't have anything to block, you swing in, and now this guy, because if you hit the player, you get +1/+1 counter. You know, this guy's now a 2/4 And I had 2 of those. And actually I had a whole round where I had all those out. These 2, these are great. These are really good. Vigilance, which basically means even though you attack, they don't stay tapped. So they can block the next turn too. If it hits the player, you get +1/+1, and it only costs 2. I mean, these were a no-brainer. I had 3 of these things. I got really lucky on my packs and pulled enough to have an almost a play set of those. This one I never got to take out. Basically, it returns when return center enters the battlefield. Player must put the top 4 of their deck. It mills their deck a little bit, but I never got to play it. This Charging Griffin was really nice. It's flying, and it has, basically anytime you attack, you give it +1/+1, so it's running for 3. You can block for 2. This one was kind of a strange one. It's 4 mana, right? But you can Renowned if you hit, but everyone was focusing it down for some reason, because it's got the 4/3, but really the biggest one is that tap, right? This one's really big, because it's cheaper than the other one. Remember, the other one was 3 to tap a character. This one's only 2. So, and you don't have to do anything. I mean, you just throw 2 and you can tap a character down. So you could do this for their whole thing if you had enough mana. You could tap their entire deck down before they get to combat, which is pretty sweet. And this one should be a bomb, right? But it's flying, plus if any of your other creatures have counters, this one gets a counter for each character that had one on it, which is pretty big because of all the counter characters I had in there. I thought this would be really nice. But it turned out this one just sat. It never ever really got to play, which was kind of lame. I was like, man, god damn it, I was really hoping I'd play it. And then here, let's go through my magic and enchantments. I usually run 16 characters, or creatures, and then 8 spells whenever I do limited. So this guy right here, let's make it get in there. There it is. Mighty Leap, Super Boss. This was really, really, really nice because the flying part, basically most people don't have flying, so you just push this thing right over the top of everybody, +2/+2. Really nice. This one you made a ton of play with. So if this one made a bunch of play later in the game because I lost a bunch of cards. This part right here, if you have 2 or more instants or a sorcery in your graveyard, you can use it as an instant rather than a sorcery. So basically, the last guy swings, right? He swings big. He's got some huge character. I did this on the 12/12 character. He was really pissed because he didn't have anything, so it removed the 12/12. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. This guy gets removed. This was really nice. There was a couple characters in green. I think it was called the Trample Rhinos or something. Anyway, it's a 6/6 character. Our 4/4 character with Trample. As soon as it hits a person, you get 6/6. This thing came into play. Basically, I just enchant the enemy character and put him down to 3, which puts him in range for most of my guys to block, which is really nice. And it counts as an enchantment. So the little flyer guy, the 2/2 flyer, then becomes a 3/3. This one was so fun to play. Languish. So I got this card. I didn't know if I'd be able to use it, but I did. I was playing against a red-green player. He wiped my board with a Chandra's Fire. Basically what it does is says, for the damage of one of my characters, that's how much damage is going to go across everything, right? Wiped my board. He swung in for everything. He swung only for 6, and then used all his mana to load his deck with everything, his whole hand. Okay, he put down 4 characters. I dropped this the next turn, and you should have seen that guy's face just go from a smile to a total pooper face real quick. Celestial Flare, solid card. Anytime you can just sack a attacking or blocking character, you can just get rid of him. This one actually won me a game. It doesn't seem like it would, but it really did. Basically what happens, you put this out, it's only 2. Whenever a creature dies, you can scry 1. So remember that thing I did, Languish? There were 5 characters that came off or creatures that came off the field. I got to scry 5 times. Plus, I had a ton of mana, so I was hitting him every single time with this, which basically I turned 5 mana that I wasn't using anyway. So he loses 2, I gain 2 for the whole thing. It was really awesome. This one kind of saw some play. I used it 1 time, and then it got counterspelled, so not great. But it basically says everybody gets +2/+1 till the end of turn. And I used it here because I had enough to have vigilance, and then I got counterspelled, so I was kind of poopy. This one never got used. But basically, anytime a creature enters the battlefield under your control, creatures gain +1/+1. This is really great if you're doing a bunch of Thopters or some kind of deck that has that. So anyway, that is all I really had for you guys. You know, it's one of these where it was a deck that I had. Oh, and I also had Liliana in there, the Planeswalker, which I never got to use, by the way, which sucked ass. I was like, man. And it's this one right here, which we'll do an opening of this promo bag. My the game guy, the guy who owns the shop, gave me one of these as a gift for coming. So, you know, anyway, we'll open that in Lex. But that was my deck for Saturday, the second, my second pre-release. Totally recommend going to pre-release. It was a real big one. It was huge, huge, huge help. So anyway, if you guys thought that was kind of interesting, let me know in the comments below. If you guys went to pre-release, let me know. I know that a lot of you guys probably subscribe to my channel for Skyrim, Mountain Blade, and all that, but I mean, this is stuff that interests me too. It's just like actual physical card games, like talking to people, and you know, it's a lot of fun because then you get a whole group of guys, you get to play the game, you get to bullshit, you know, and I don't go there for like, you know, even though I have the playmat, you know, this thing, I'm not going there trying to recruit people. I mean, it's the same 20, 30 guys every time, and I get that in a couple hours just doing nothing. But it's more like, how do you build a community around gaming and just kind of be there? And, you know, and it's a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. So anyways, guys, if you also are in the Pacifica Bay area, go to Anime Imports in Pacifica. Let Mike, the owner, know that Bo sent you, and he'll give you a kiss. Now, I don't know if he'll give you a kiss, but he'll give you a thumbs up or something. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, you guys, and talk to you soon. See ya.